Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunya Bihari. Everyone. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Vijanavallabha Jaya Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajanaram Jana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajanaram Jana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamuna Tiravana Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Dayana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachare Jaya Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiya ki Shri Shri Gauranitai ki Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Prabhupada ki Janitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 6, Chapter 13, Text number 3. Shriraja Uvacha Indrasyani Vraterhetum Shrotum Ichchami Bhumune Yena Sansukhino Deva Hare Dukkham Kutho Bhava Shri Raja Uvacha Indrasyanirvraterhetum Shrotumicchami Bhumune Yena Sansukhino Deva Hare Dukkham Kuto Bhava Shri Raja Uvacha Indrasyanirvraterhetum Shrotumicchami Bhumune Yena Sansukhino Deva Hare Dukkham Kuto Bhava. Mataji's. Word-to-word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Raja Uvacha. King Parikshit inquired, Indrasya of King Indra, Anirvrite of the moroseness, Hetum the reason, Shrotum to hear, Ichchami I wish, Bho O my Lord, Mune, O great sage Shukadev Goswami, Yena, by which, Asan were, Sukhina, very happy, Deva, all the demigods, Hare, of Indra, Dukham, moroseness, Kutaha, from where, Abhavat, was. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, O great sage, what was the reason for Indra's unhappiness? I wish to hear about this. When he killed Vritrasur, all the demigods were extremely happy. Why then was Indra himself unhappy? Purport. This, of course, is a very intelligent question. When a demon is killed, certainly all the demigods are happy. In this case, however, when all the demigods were happy because of Vritrasur's having been killed, Indra was unhappy. Why? It may be suggested that Indra was unhappy because he knew that he had killed a great devotee and Brahmana. Vritrasur outwardly appeared to be a demon, but inwardly he was a great devotee and therefore a great Brahmana. Herein it is clearly indicated that a person who is not at all demoniac such as Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, may outwardly be a demon or be born in a family of demons. Therefore, in terms of real culture, one should not be considered a demigod or demon simply according to birth. In his dealings while fighting with Indra, Vritrasur proved himself a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Furthermore, as soon as he finished fighting with Indra and was apparently killed, Vritrasur was transferred to Vaikuntha Loka to become an associate of Sankarshan. Indra knew this, and therefore he was morose at having killed such a demon who was actually a Vaishnava or Brahman. A Vaishnava is already a Brahmana, although a Brahmana may not be a Vaishnava. The Padma Puran says, Sat karma nipano vipro mantra tantra visharada avaishnavo guru nasyad Vaishnava shvapacho guru. One may be a Brahmana in terms of his culture and family, and may be expert in Vedic knowledge, mantra tantra visharada, but if he is not a Vaishnava, he cannot be a guru. This means that an expert Brahmana may not be a Vaishnava, but a Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. A millionaire may very easily possess hundreds and thousands of dollars, but a person with hundreds and thousands of dollars is not necessarily a millionaire. Vritrasur was a perfect Vaishnava, and therefore he was also a Brahmana. This concludes the purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Deham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Ste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurtvashe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Neelachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas here, especially from His Grace Naveen Neerath Prabhu, His Grace Vamshivadan Prabhu, and many other senior devotees. Pune is a very, very special place because so many Shiksha Gurus of mine who have nourished me in Krishna consciousness are all here to bless me. I was fortunate also to have undergone a wonderful training under Naveen Neerath Prabhu also on book distribution, which is an overhaul training about becoming a devotee and then inspiring others to take up to devotion. So I'm very grateful to be here, and it is so nourishing to be here, just be with all the devotees and experience the spiritual vibrations and the magic happening by Srila Prabhupada. I feel very, very humbled and privileged to be here. My special gratitude to definitely all the devotees here, because my parents stay here and they feel so home and so sheltered here that I tell them maybe you should come to Calcutta. He said, no, when our hands and legs will not work, then we will come, then you take. Otherwise we want to dance and relish here. So they feel, ye sab chodat kahin nahi jao, ye sab chodat prana parao. You know, I be in the association, and only when it is impossible, then maybe we try something. So my prayers for all the devotees, for blessing the whole family, and to Radhesham Prabhu especially for nourishing through the community here and through his concern and through his communications. I'm very, very blessed. So I'll try to share something what I have learned from all of you on this verse of Indra being afflicted by sinful reactions. With all your prayers and blessings, we'll make some attempts. Hare Krishna. So it is said, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaks that the impossible will become possible if you remember Lord Chaitanya. And the possible will become impossible if you forget Lord Chaitanya. So in our Krishna consciousness, two principles are very, very important for going ahead. Patita pavana hetu tava avatar, mosama patita prabhu na pai bayar. Jai Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki jai. So to nourish our Krishna consciousness, these are two principles which are very essential. Where a person, when he is put in a helpless situation of moroseness, where he understands his disqualifications, it becomes a very favorable situation for receiving nourishment from Krishna. And the second aspect is when we see Krishna, Sri Chaitanya, being so magnanimous, when we see their merciful involvement in the lives of devotees, that also greatly nourishes us. But it's a very interesting thing that happens in this world because of the false ego. The false ego likes to qualify oneself more. And it becomes very difficult for the false ego when you feel morose and frustrated and humble. It says, I should be something. I should have an established identity to be of meaning in this world. So when we are put into moroseness and frustration, we don't become happy to take shelter of Krishna so easily. Right? But actually, according to the Shastras, the intelligence is awakened when we understand that we are in a very awkward position in this world. Till the point of time a person feels very happy and comfortable, he will not take shelter of Krishna sincerely. You know, a patient will not take the medicine until the patient is convinced that I need to take the medicine. Imagine somebody goes to the doctor and on a regular checkup, they find out that there are some cancer cells. You know, it's got cancer. You know, so what would be the situation of a person? He may get ratified by many other doctors. And once he's convinced that I've got cancer, what do you think will happen to his devotional service? And the doctor says, we don't know how long he will survive. Maybe few years, maybe few months, or few days. It all depends on how the cancer will proceed. Right? So immediately a person will become very, very enthusiastic. He will kind of, prepare himself for the final journey or for all the aspects. But if we are not convinced that we have some problem, we would not be very enthusiastic. So actually being put in a situation like Indra is, moroseness and frustration, is a very favorable ground for nourishment in Krishna consciousness. Rup Sanatan, when meet Lord Chaitanya, this is their discussion. Everybody says we are Pandit, but we do not understand exactly about we are being tormented by threefold miseries. I don't know who I am. This is our precarious situation in the world. So we surrender our lives to you. Right? So that humble situation of a sadhaka or a difficult situation of a sadhaka is a ground where he can deeply take nourishment from taking shelter. Or like Maharajji was speaking about Sharanagati, it's a favorable ground for taking shelter. So this is a beautiful Vaishnav song, which is from Bhakti Giti. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj made a compilation of this song. This is a song, I think one of the associates for Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has written the song, but it's very beautiful. It diagnoses our situation. Right? Gurudev Dayamo, Gurudev Dayamo, Pranera Jatana Jana bhike toma hoyeche jivana yantrana moy. He says, my dear Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, my heart is filled with pain. Pranera jatana jana bhike toma. I want to tell you the story of my heart. Hoyeche jivana jantrana moy. My life has become completely filled with suffering. It's becoming very miserable. Shri Krishna bhajite nahi chahe mati vishaye bhogete prabala sakti vishaye re asha nahi chhade ma vishaye te sadadha. He says, Shri Krishna bhajite, mati will not go, but vishaya bhogete prabala asakti. Always I am meditating on vishaya. Krishna dasya bhuli maya re bhajinu apana swarupa kabuna chintinu ki rupa bhavi mudhama maya te akrishta ho. I have forgotten my identity to be Krishna dasya. I have forgotten Krishna, but I am very sincerely doing bhajan of maya. I have forgotten my swarupa. My foolish mind is always misidentifying, and maya te akrishta ho. I feel lot of attachment for the material energy. Dushta sanga phala na bhujinu hoy, sadhu ka che jete chitta nahi jay, asate re sanga thakiya satata chitta holo vajra pra. He says, I do not feel like going in good association. Rather, I get attracted to bad association. And because of that, I don't feel taste in bhajan. My mind doesn't want to go to sadhus and reveal heart. But I feel a lot of attachment for temporary things. Because of that, my heart has become vajrapray, become like a stone, and no devotion seems to come out of it. Kanaka kamini labha puja asha chahe mora chitta ara pratistasha ki rupe shodite hobe mora chitta ei chinta sada ho. Kanaka kamini labha puja asha chahe mora chitta ara pratishta asha. So, oh my Gurudev, how will you purify my chitta? It is a very complex program. Ei chinta sadadhai hoy. That I'm anxious about my situation. I'm very morose. Is there any hope for me? Tava kripa kana amara sambhal, Tava kripa bina nahi anya bal, Kripa karo Prabhu diya chidba dasatoma pranamo. Said, but I have confidence in your mercy, my dear spiritual master. Kripa kana, kana means a very tiny fragment, is my hope. And without that, I don't see any means of deliverance. So please, give me strength. Gurudev, give me strength. Diya chitbal, dase toma pranamo. I accept me as your servant. So a devotee, when he feels moroseness, he takes shelter and says, please accept me as your servant. Sadhu sange thaki chaya begatomi Shri Krishna charane sebijeno ami Heno mati ache tavata sadha bandita varanga pa. By your blessings, I will be able to control the Vegas and stay in association. And I will get to serve the lotus feet of Krishna. And my intelligence, heno mati yache tavadasadham. My intelligence, bandhi tavarangapaya. My intelligence will get tied to your lotus feet. And I will become your servant, dasa adhama. And he concludes by saying, O he Guru De, tava shri charane, Sevijeno ami janama janama Ei ashirva yachiya bhaja Tabe paye sthana cha. He says, Oh my dear spiritual master, since your lotus feet is the only hope, my only desire is to be situated at your lotus feet, janama janama. And this is the blessing I require, to be situated at your lotus feet and engage in Krishna's devotional service constantly. So this is a very beautiful rendering of one of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, where he speaks the qualification or the situation of the heart of a sadhaka. And when a sadhaka is put in this situation, as it explains, it is a very favorable ground to take shelter. Right? Take shelter and feel Sharanagati and feel more gratefully connected to the devotees. Right? His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, after 4 years, he came to Kolkata and he was in Ultadanga. Maharaj explained that Ultadanga is the place where ISKCON was conceived in the heart of Prabhupada by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Right? So Maharaj said that is the root where actually the whole Gaudiya movement came from. So I could see that when Maharajji was there for about 8 days there, he was in a very ecstatic devotional mood of being in that place in a very personal way. He was all alone and meditating on Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, right? So we find that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas sometimes allow us to understand the emotions of their hearts by their devotional service. So that is a deep prayer of a sadhaka, to reflect on one's disqualification and to reflect on the merciful nature of the spiritual master, on Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. And this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, as we understand in the 10 subjects of Bhagavat, this is Poshanam, nourishment of a devotee by Krishna's reciprocation. So we hear in the Shastras, Bhakti Pareshanubhava Viraktir Anyatracha. And the example is given by the Acharyas. It is like taking prasadam. If you're feeling very hungry, there are pangs of, hunger, feeling very disturbed. But the moment you sit in front of the prasadam table, Mahaprasade Govinde, when it's a very desperate situation, the prayer is also faltering. And then the moment you touch prasadam and put in your mouth, immediately what happens is tushti, satisfaction. Immediately you feel great relief, great satisfaction. And when you start eating it, then you feel pushti, nourishment. And the after effect of it is we get free from that pangs of suffering. Apayana. The suffering goes away. We get isolated or we get insulated from that suffering. So it says similarly the practice of bhakti is also like that. Bhakti para isha anubhava. So what happens is when a sadhaka performs devotional service without a mix of karma and jnana, he offers pure devotion. Anya bhilashita shunyam Jnana karmadana avritam anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. He offers devotional service favorably. Then immediately what will come in his heart is satisfaction. The moment you do selfless service without any expectation, the moment you have expectation, the mind becomes agitated and mind cannot fix on spiritual things. Like, we are sitting to chant, sitting to do anything, but you're thinking, I'm not getting the taste, I'm not getting the experience. So there is some kind of fruiter mentality which does not allow us to interact with the spiritual aspects. But when we offer a selfless service, whether I feel taste or not, whether I am feeling happy or not, but Krishna, I will serve you in the holy name, I'll serve you as a deity, I'll serve you as a service, or serve you as Srimad Bhagavatam. So just that aspect of being surrendered and offering devotional service will feel satisfaction. So now we have done our part of offering Krishna service without any expectation. That is called tushti. But then after we offer devotional service in this way, Krishna is not a stone. Krishna is a personality. Prabhupada is again and again telling us whenever he gets an opportunity that Krishna is a person. So when Krishna sees our attempt to serve him in a selfless way, he feels touched. Just like we would feel touched if somebody does something for us. Like keep a plate of prasadam or remind us of something, we feel touched. Or if our health is down and they come and give us some medicine or give us some affection, we feel touched. So when you offer service to Krishna, why would Krishna not feel touched? And after you have done your part, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham, then Krishna will reciprocate, and that creates pushti, nourishment, poshanam. When you see Krishna's reciprocation in your lives, in an internal way, or everybody has his own way he sees Krishna's reciprocation. Every devotee will have his own story of how he feels Guru and Krishna's reciprocation in their lives. So when we offer a service like that, we will feel tushti, and then Krishna will reciprocate, we will feel pushti, we will feel nourishment. And then we will not feel the pangs of suffering in the material world. Viraktiranyatracha. There's a difference between not going to the sense objects and not feeling to go to the sense objects. One is restraint and one is virakti, where lagbena, I don't want it. It doesn't feel to go there. So that is the result when a person performs pure devotional service. He will feel satisfaction, he will feel happiness, nourishment, and he will feel viraktiranyatracha. So here we see a very beautiful presentation. Vritrasur is in such a difficult service of being a demon. Being a demon against the Vaishnavas and attacking. And everybody is going to throw bad words at him. Everybody is going to say what a bad guy he is. Usually, it feels very bad even if one person speaks not so respectfully. It's like, you should have spoken, like you should have acknowledged this. A little acknowledgement doesn't happen and we feel disturbed. And think about everybody speaking criticism on us. It is a very difficult thing. But we see Vritrasur was completely confident. Right? Completely confident. Because of the reciprocation he was feeling from Krishna, Lord Sankarshan. Internally, he was so juicy. On the war field, when there is so much of passion, it is difficult to speak philosophy. Whenever you are doing management and then you're trying to deal the situation, you feel it, it feels like it's okay if I speak strong words or tell some devotee, look Prabhu, now it's a situation, we should be practical. So practically we do a lot of things. But you see Vritrasur is able to speak pure Bhagavatam in that situation. What a fixation of mind. That means his devotion was so deep like an ocean. So many rivers entering and no disturbance. Prabhupada quotes in the purport about Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj. A similar situation for Bali Maharaj. Vamana comes and says, give me 3 steps of land. He was the king of the 3 worlds. And Bali Maharaj, being very gracious, he says, I can give you more. And Vamandev wonderfully speaks the lecture on satisfaction, Santushta. And in 2 steps, he takes the 3 worlds. And then demands Bali, where should I put the 3rd step? The Acharyas explain that Bali was put in a very helpless situation, and he was tied up by Varuna, and he was put in a very, spotted out. The demons are saying, what a foolish decision. The demigods are very happy, nice it happened. Everybody is admonishing and looking down upon Bali. We cannot imagine a situation. It is said to the extent Brahmaji becomes very disturbed. Brahmaji comes down and says, my dear Lord, this is too much. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadham bhakti upahartam ashnami prayatat. My dear Lord, you said patta pushpa phala and you will get satisfied. He has given you 3 worlds. Please understand, my dear Lord, he has given you 3 worlds, and even now you are tied up and you are demanding him for more. So he said, Brahma became very flustered to see this exhibition of the Supreme Lord. But when Prahlad Maharaj comes, he says, kudos. You are in a glorious position of Sharanagati. And we see Bali Maharaj not perturbed. When his demon friends, they say attack, or they're being attacked, he says, time is not in our favor. You go to the lower planets. Don't fight now. And Bali Maharaj is very, very composed. So I remember hearing from Kamal Lochan Prabhu, he was speaking on this section, and Bali Maharaj is having a smile while he's being tied up and he's being humiliated so publicly. And the word that he uses, I think, he says chaliya. The word chaliya. And Bali Maharaj is smiling and thinking, oh my dear Lord, what an expert, inconceivable, dramatist and person you are. To the whole world it is appearing as if I am the culprit. And for Indra, Indrari, Vyakulam, because of Indra is Vyakula, you have come to save him and protect him and restore him. The whole world is thinking that you have come for Indra to restore him into heaven. And I am like a spotted person, worthless. But you are a chaliya, my dear Lord. You have actually come for me. You haven't come for Indra. To give some material benediction, why do you need to come? You're going to cheat Indra and cheat the whole world just by giving him heavenly planets. But to me, I'm going to offer my life and you're going to give yourself to me. Right? And the whole world is looking at something else. And Bali Maharaj very confidently, by the prayer and blessing of Prahlad, surrendered his life. No hitch. And immediately we see Vamana. He says, my dear Bali Maharaj, now I am your eternal servant. You go to Sutala and I will be your doorkeeper. Bali Maharaj, Vamandev gives him. And you rule. Anybody disturbs your rule, I am there with Chakra. And he was a doorkeeper. Vamandev became a doorkeeper. But Vamandev was alone. Doorkeeping is alone. So then the Lord tells Prahlad, Prahlad, you also come. He said, you also don't have any job. So both of us will do Krishna Katha. So in Odisha, I think a lot of places outside, they have 2, when they construct, they make like 2 asanas. One is for Vamandev and one is for Prahlad Maharaj. So Vamandev spends all his time doing Krishna Katha with Prahlad. And when there is service for Bali, he immediately is on his toes. And in this way, the Lord offers himself in full devotion. Right? So it is very difficult aspect to understand what is really devotion and who is really having devotion. and what is happening. Bhakti is very, very independent and very mysterious. And Krishna, but he is a connoisseur. Krishna is connoisseur of love. He only looks in the heart, what is the intent in which the devotee is offering him seva. That is the only thing he uses to qualify. So to Indra, he is managerially obliged. So he will give him the kingdom. But to Indra also, he is very, very attached, that he is putting him in a morose situation so that he will become sincere. The Lord putting Indra in a situation is also his love. And dealing with Vritrasur is also his love. So the Lord is an abode of love, and he always wants to reciprocate with his devotees. But the way the Lord will act is inconceivable. And especially he would use his inconceivable potencies in dealing with his devotees more than anyone else. Because others anyway are not so keen about him. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur speaks about Krishna being inconceivable. Jiva Goswami says that unless you acknowledge Krishna can do anything, we will not be able to properly engage in his devotion. So he speaks the story, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that there was a kingdom and there was a king with all his ministers, and it was an assembly. And like kings do, they begin their assembly with some entertainment, because you have to deal with so many issues and cases. So kuch maja ho jaye. So they called a very, very renowned magician. And the magician came with his wife and his 2 young children. And all the assembly was watching. And he started conjuring a lot of tricks. He kind of brought horses, he brought chariots, he brought, so many phenomena was brought, and everybody was like clapping. Nobody was able to control themselves. The magician was like too wonderful. And after the whole magic happened, the king became very, very happy. So he immediately took his diamond necklace, and then he wanted to give it to somebody. So because there were 2 of them, the younger child and the youngest child. So what happened, the father, magician, immediately took that necklace and put it on the neck of the elder son. And already in the family there was some problem in relationships. कि आप उनको ज़्यादा फेवर करते हैं, इनको तो मानते ही नहीं. You don't consider him, the elder one is more favored. So immediately the younger son became very disturbed. And he started snatching the diamond necklace right in the assembly. And the father magician, mother magician, they are like watching the match, what's going on. And suddenly while they were fighting, both of them took out swords. And they started fighting with each other with swords. And in the heat of the whole fight over the diamond necklace, as a result of the king being happy, both of them stabbed each other. And both were dead, brutally, blood spilled over everything. And the wife said, I have had enough of you. I have told you so many times, don't be biased. This is very bad for our family. And you have still not listened and done this. I'm not going to be with you anymore. She took the sword and killed herself. And the father, wife is gone, 2 children are gone. He said, now what is the meaning to life now? For whom should I live? He immediately sat in a posture, and Agni kind of got created, and he was burned to ashes. And the whole assembly, which had begun for entertainment, like a bloody massacre of ashes and blood and emotional turmoils and so many anxieties. And the king and the assembly and the ministers thought, this is too bad what happened. And they did the final rites, 12-day fasting, and so many things they did. And they were all thinking, but what a great magician, but what happened to him? What is the futility of all that happens? And it was like a sad story which people spoke for so long. And one day again the king was in the assembly with all his ministers, and he gets a letter. And he gets the letter, and the messenger reads it. And this was a letter from the magician. He says, "Oh king, so how do you like my magic?" Right? I hope you relish the magic that we did. So we are in so and so address. At your gracious time, you can come and visit us. And the king and the ministers were like shaking and looking at the whole thing. What has happened? So then the whole king with his cavalry and ministers, they went to that particular place where the magician's address was. And they went to that address, and there they saw the younger child and the youngest child playing with a ball. Khel rahe hain. The wife is cooking and the magician says, "So king, happy to receive you here." And he graced it. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that if an ordinary magician can create such maya, so what about Krishna, who is Yogeshwar? He said nobody can understand what Krishna is up to, right? And especially with his devotees, he is very busy. He has delegated creation to Brahma, management to Vishnu, and destruction to Shiva. The only service he has not delegated is to purify his devotees and show him love. That is the only service he has not delegated to anyone, right? And he has all these inconceivable potencies as a Yogeshwar, and he's involved in our lives. So we can understand what Krishna is planning up to. It is very difficult to understand what Krishna is up to. Like, nobody can understand the game, but everybody can understand through Shastra the conclusion. Conclusion, everybody is clear. Anta bhale to sab bhala. Everybody is clear. But the path, nobody can be clear. What a person will be taken through. And 6th canto is like a demonstration of that. If you are a person fully engaged in my service or a great devotee, what will I do to you? And that Krishna has a plan. In his best way, with his best timing. Krishna is known for the best timing. Whenever he wants to do a leela, if you don't have a good timing, the maja is not there. The masala will not come. When Krishna was in the coils of Kaliya, for 2 hours, he did not move. So he was setting the scene. I consider 2 hours like chanting 16 rounds, so we still have time for that. So he let the whole 3 worlds fill up the gallery. And then he said, "Now I would like to show my game." So Krishna, through and through in the lives of devotees, will create some amazing, miraculous situations. And I think Shyam Sundar Prabhu would say in his book, saying that we didn't believe in miracles. We lived by them. We didn't believe in miracles. It was only miracle of how we would live. I think he says in London he was, and the Makan Malik said, "Leave home. Tomorrow is the last day." And immediately he opens the door and he sees pounds flying. And he catches all the pounds and says exactly the amount of money required for the rent. So we will see Krishna will not give a lot to devotees. He will give only that much to sustain and for service. We will expect more, but Krishna knows maybe he will get deviated. So give only that much what is necessary. Right? So Krishna is a personality, and Krishna is a person who is very much integrated in our lives. And if we forget Krishna, we forget Lord Chaitanya in our lives involved, then it will be very difficult to navigate our path. They say in Bengali, "Pather chinta noy, yadi sarathi bhalo hoy." He says, "Pather chinta noy." No worry about the journey and the navigation and the travel. If Sarathi, if your driver, he's a good man. If the Sarathi is good, don't worry about the path. He will get you across. So he said similarly, the confidence in Krishna being the charioteer, and he can navigate through any situation like Mahabharata, Arjuna was navigated through. And Krishna is not like give instruction and he goes away. He's a coach. He will give you instruction and be by your side to watch if you're doing good and then qualify you together. That is how Krishna takes responsibility, right? So more and more we are able to offer devotional service and Krishna's reciprocation through the Shastras and through our personal lives of Sharanagati, we get more and more nourishment and poshanam. And as I said, every individual devotee has his own wonderful stories of Krishna's reciprocation. So I'd like to just conclude by speaking a small pastime of Radha Vrindavan Chandra, which you may have heard in America, because the deities are here. The deities are the king and queen of this whole, Pune. So they are here. So Pratima nahi tumi sakshat prachendra dantan. So this was a story documented. Many of you may have heard. I'll just repeat it for the pleasure of the lordships and the devotees. They had made a very, very beautiful outfit for Radha Vrindavan Chandra. And after this beautiful outfit, I was told, Prabhupada said we should decorate them so beautifully that all the American girls and boys would get attracted to come here. Right? So they made a beautiful outfit. And after the outfit was made, it was given for a laundry. And when it came back from the laundry, one portion of Radharani's cloth which covered her hand was missing. And the devotees called back the laundry person saying, where is it? They said, sir, we are not able to find it. Maybe we'll pay you. He said, no mind paying, because it's a part of the outfit. If you don't have one part, then the whole thing is lost. So then they said, we will wait. You go and communicate with everyone and find out where is that cloth that's missing. 2 weeks after, they get a call in the temple. A lady calls up at the temple. The laundry person says that, sir, we have found it. It went with a lady by mistake in her laundry. And now she wants to come and personally deliver it to whoever it belongs to. So the lady called the laundryman and says, I want to personally give it to that girl whom it belongs. So devotee said, no problem. We want to preach Krishna consciousness. So the lady came in her car and she was right in the courtyard. And the devotees saw in the hand of that lady that cloth of Srimati Radhika. And they felt so wonderful that now it has happened. And the lady said, no, I won't give it to anyone. Show me the girl and I'll give it to that girl. The devotee said, a nice opportunity. They took her through the temple, beautiful temple. And, right in front of the altar, they showed Radha Vrindavan Chandra. And pointing out to Srimati Radhika, he said, this is the girl it belongs to. And the lady was a Christian, So the moment she saw Srimati Radharani, her tears started rolling down her eyes. She went on her knees and started crying bitterly and saying, I knew it belonged to someone very special. I knew it belonged to someone very special. And she started crying. And all devotees were thinking, we thought we'll preach, but something else has happened. And then when she got down in her emotions, then the devotees asked her, what is it all about? And then she said that 2 weeks back, when we actually got this laundry baggage, this particular lustrous cloth also came along. And she said, I had a daughter who was suffering from last stages of cancer. And she was only going to stay for a few days. And she was having excruciating pain. And 2 weeks back when we got it, this girl got hold of this cloth and started playing with it. And like children are, they play anything they have. So she thought she'll play for a day or two and she'll leave it. And then I will give it to the laundry person back. But she said my daughter would not leave it. She would always play with it. She was in excruciating pain, but she would rest with it, play with it, keep it on her chest. And she would never let it go, as if this was the most important possession she had. And she said just yesterday she passed away. And when she passed away, she said my daughter was holding that cloth on her heart, on the heart, and she peacefully departed in spite of such painful cancer cells. Right? And that's like a miracle for me. So I knew that it really belonged to someone special. So Krishna and Srimati Radharani will never ever forget this service that we have rendered to them. You know, whatever be the situation, they'll qualify us. They'll qualify us, reciprocate with us. They will never forget. They are the most grateful personalities. Kamva dayalum sharanam prachema. You know, why should I worship anyone but the Lord, who is so grateful, whose heart is like butter? So the Lord will always remind or be there with us, for us, to reciprocate with us. And this confidence in the of a devotee in the Lord is the poshanam, is the nourishment of a devotee that makes him go through the rugged path in the material world and make the journey. But we know even that journey, because Krishna as a charioteer is with us, Krishna has a plan why he is taking us through all those rough waters. He has a plan for that. So Bhagavatam and the association of devotees, their example and inspiration gives us that confidence. Lage raho. Lage raho, and Krishna from within also gives us that reciprocation. Thank you very much. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna.